You see them flitting around the swamp and meadows throughout the spring and summer. The dragonfly and the damselfly hover and then dash to another spot and hover some more. I was always fascinated by their huge eyes and the four wings. They are one of God's most fascinating insects, in my opinion. My mom, Lorraine, was a very special person. Her life were her kids, but she had some peculiar things about some things, like strange sayings. Well, my dad had a lot of strange sayings too, but she would see me outside, and if there was a dragonfly nearby, she would warn me to stay away from it because it would sew people's lips shut. And I never figured out if she believed it or not to be true, but I know for a long time as a kid I stayed away from dragonflies. Moving on though. The dragonfly and damselfly are members of the order Odonata, and they are found wherever there are permanent bodies of fresh water. Incredibly, God created over 5,000 different species, and because of their larger bodies and rapid darting flight, they are more recognizable the dragonfly is more recognizable, that is, than its smaller cousin, the damselflies. The dragonfly's hind wings are larger than its front wings, whereas the damselfly, all four wings, are the same size. As I've already mentioned, dragonflies have large eyes, which tend to extend over the top of their heads, whilst the damselfly's eyes appear to be on projections which stand out from their somewhat flattened heads. When the dragonfly is at rest, all four of their wings are extended outwards. The damselfly holds their wings folded parallel to their bodies or tilted upward while at rest. Their lives are in harmony with the aquatic type environment they dwell in. For example, both lay their eggs in or near the water. Some species will actually swoop down and release their eggs as they dip the tip of their abdomen into the water. And yet another group flutters just above the water's surface and the shallows, where it will then thrust the tip of its abdomen into the sand to deposit its eggs. Then also uniquely, one type of damselfly deposits the eggs in the tissue of plants above the waterline, and the eggs do not hatch until the water is high enough to submerge the stems the next season. I wonder how evolutionists would explain that. If evolution were true, which it is not, these damsels would have wasted their time because they would have died out long before they figured out how to time things so perfectly. What is true is God imparted to them the know-how to go through this process. Nymphs, that is to say, an immature stage of development, burrow into the sand on the bottom of ponds. The long, hinged lower lip of nymphs can rapidly be extended, and then dinner, if you will, is caught in the claw-like lobes at the tip. When it's not in use, the lip is folded under the head. Uniquely, dragonflies larvae also have a series of gills in an enlargement at the end of their digestive tract. Also interestingly, they breathe by pumping water into and out of this chamber, and more quickly by shooting water from the chamber forcibly. When the nymph stage is ready to transform into an adult, the nymph crawls from the water, generally onto a stone or a plant, where it will go through a final molt. The skin that is cast off can be seen lying around, with people believing that it to be a dead specimen, but it is only a molted skin, much like snakes do. The nymphs and adults feed on small animals, although some of the large types will feed on small fish and are known to be pests around fish hatcheries. The adult dragonfly will also catch its dinner while flying over the ponds. These include mosquitoes, midges, and a variety of other small insects. The same God that created you and I is the only God, and just like with us, He gave them unique abilities to live their lives in freedom and in peace in an environment designed perfectly for them. Be sure to like and subscribe so you will not miss out on a single new program. God bless, and have an awesome evening.